brother. Welcome back. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast, episode 101 for Thursday, September 13th, 2018. And why Thursday? Because we didn't drop on Wednesday, Chase. Because of some bad news. Unfortunately, as I mentioned on my Instagram story, episode 100 has been lost, kids. We taped our live episode 100 on Sunday at Lap Boston. It went great. People showed up. We had a good time. But as you can tell, Jace's grumpy voice, the sound engineers, for lack of a better word, fucked it up. I mean, obviously we thank, Lap Boston for having us and John Tobin for inviting us and everyone that came out. And obviously we love all of our listeners that weren't able to show up and wanted to hear the live episode, but we do not have it. They did not record it. Or at least did not record it properly. Yeah. But for whatever reason, we couldn't get an audio copy of it.
We don't have it.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Thank you to Brian Glowacki for coming out and doing it with us.
Yeah, for nothing. Thanks for
thank you, Brian, for coming. You didn't come out.
Yeah, not for him coming for nothing, but we didn't have nothing to produce based on him coming.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we'll have to have him back. We'll have to have him back in studio, in the apartment where the recording never gets fucked up.
I just, like you said, right? There's certain things that you just like, you can just be like, hey, what can you do? Things happen. And it's fucking, the only thing is I'm upset about is the fact that, like you said, that place is great, whatever. But it's, they've been great to us. So it's not the establishment itself. It's just like, it comes down to just
a lack of professionalism.
Lack of... I don't understand. This is my thing, man. Like, if you get paid to do something, a job, like, why can't you just do your job? Or just like double check what you're doing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Just like make sure,
Or you know what I found interesting is that if they knew it was a problem, they took a little bit longer than I would have liked them to tell us that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's another thing.
I asked about it starting Monday, and I didn't hear back about it until Wednesday night. That's just, like I said, for me, that's a little bit of an extra slap in the face. Like, if you fucked up, cop to it.
Take account. Yeah,
well, I mean that's all you can do, right? I mean,
I think that they were trying to see if, the
if
file,
they can pull a rabbit out of the hat or something.
I think what they're trying to figure out is see if it was probably like an archive or maybe like it did hit record, but something, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like. We've been doing this for a very long time. We know about sound equipment. We know about files.
I'm not an expert, but I know how to record the podcast.
You hit record. It's just like, and I'm just like, to be honest with you, it's actually like a silver lining to it because, we don't have it. A person made a mistake. Actually, two mistakes, but we won't get into that.
We can, but why
leave it?
Why make it worse for this person?
Yeah,
You never want to get anybody fired, but at some point, if you're not doing your job properly, it's best for you to leave that job too. Like you don't want to keep failing at your job. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in this particular thing because we do art and it's like we have to have content to give to people that are expecting stuff. So it's not like you working at fucking CVS and you forgot to stock fucking Viagra pills. You know what I mean? You can just go in the back and
get some more.
We can't go back.
You can't go back in time and re-record this thing. It's not like it's a movie take. It was a live episode. It has to be live. But Anyway, I just want to say sorry to the listeners. I apologize for both you and I, Chase, because it shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have left it up to some sound engineer. I should have taken. We should be like, fuck that. Get out of the sound booth. We'll do it. Yeah. At the end of the day, so
have a backup.
Lesson learned. Yeah, lesson learned. Like that. Yeah. It's on me to make sure this thing goes out. Not anybody else in the room. I thought that they did 10 that week or 8 up to that point. So I assumed that they had done those 8 props. In hindsight, we found out they didn't do all 8 of those. They didn't record all 8 of those properly. Yeah. But we found that out. But unfortunately, I just assumed that the sound engineer knew how to handle this type of recording, and apparently they didn't.
Nope.
So now we're left standing here, 1 episode short for you guys.
Yeah, and probably some people probably listening like, well, fucking what's the big deal? It's only 1 episode. Like, it's like I get it.
But, but we did it right 100 times, and not to get credit for that 100th one is a real fucking kick in the dick.
That's what I'm saying. Like this was like 100th episode at a club at a place where it's like that's always special to us.
Essentially our home club, if you will.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a club, and we're not playing the Wilbur.
So it's like it's not this particular mistake is not doesn't I guess kind of show like everyone's like unprofessional, but it's just it was just one person.
Just whoever was running the sound that night made a gargantuan mistake, and unfortunately we have to suffer for it. And so do you guys. So we apologize to you for that. But thank you for sticking with us. Thanks to those who came out. I mean, we had a fun time. By the end of the night, I was fucking legless drunk. It was good.
Everything was. Yeah, you were drunk. You get drunk. But everyone had a good time. We were getting loose. We were getting fun.
Well, because it was taped at 4 o'clock, so we got out right in time for dinner. Yeah. And had a nice boozy dinner on top of it. So. Yeah. But thanks for coming out, guys. Obviously, sorry, not everyone's going to be able to hear it. We can have Olivia come on. She can talk about it. We can have Bigo come back on. He can talk about it.
Yeah, we can. I mean, we can, try to, I don't know, fucking try to redo it. Maybe we'll just or not.
Or just move right on.
Or just move on. Just say, hey, let us get a little vent off, and then we'll be fine. It will be good.
Well, when life hands you lemons, do what I do. Smoke a bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I just never understood like.
I already feel better.
It's the whole thing with like. Does it come with like maturity? Does it come with like experience of like when you do a job? Like you worked, we've all had jobs. Yeah. Like when you do a work, like what do they say when they teach you in fucking like grammar school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade? Once you write something, you double check it.
Yeah. You double check. Well, I mean, it's also just taking pride in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
See,
that's take a little bit of pride in your work. It wouldn't happen. if you had, if you gave a shit about what you were doing, you care enough to play it back, or whatever.
That's another part that people, to some people, a lot of jobs are just jobs, and there's no like real passion to it. There's no real caring to it.
Yeah,
it's just
and we've been there before. We've had jobs that we don't really give a shit about that we just did for work. But I mean, I still took pride. But I also still took pride in the whatever job I was doing. Even when I worked at McDonald's, my first job, I was like, by the end I was good at it, just because I don't want to be bad at something. Like,
right.
It's just a personal pride. I mean, I don't know how to explain that, but some people just don't give a shit, I guess.
Yeah, or they don't.
We're just absent-minded or whatever. But like I said, shame on me. I should have just fucking told her to get out of the sound booth and took care of it myself.
Well, we don't. What the fuck do we know? I don't know.
About but I know the
hit the record button.
Yeah, it's the red dot, the circle.
I'm sorry.
It's pretty similar since basically since the VCR.
Yeah, it's been
that button has been identical, even on your remote.
Right.
The record button is still the red circle.
Okay.
So nothing. I think that's never changed. Like it's not like Apple where they changed the auxiliary plug to that stupid flat plug they have now.
Okay.
The record symbol's always been the red dot.
REC.
Yeah, exactly.
Circle red.
Yeah, I don't think that's changed. Maybe I'm.
But maybe
maybe I don't know. Maybe I have some new shit I don't even know about in that sound booth. But I've been in there. It didn't look new.
Yeah. So, it didn't
look like some spaceship. It looked like a regular fucking soundboard.
Right. Got it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It's all right, guys. Thank you for coming. Here's 101.
That's what we, you got to move on when things don't happen the way you go.
I know. So last we spoke to these people, to our listeners, these people. Sorry, guys, I'm not you people in the crowd, the listeners. But this is before. So since it didn't hear the live episode, we need to go back and talk about L.A.
Nothing.
And San Diego.
Cool.
So we can talk about that.
Cool.
We can talk about. What else What else have we done this last week? The live episode. What other trouble have we gotten into?
We always get in trouble. it's always something. It's like either some crazy shit that we get into. We could talk. Yeah, we were.
So LA.
Yeah. So obviously, people knew like we were. We got back from California last week. Well, we was in LA 2 weeks ago. And we were in San Diego. We went to San Diego the first 2 days.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think you would. I don't know. I'll speak for myself here. San Diego's the shit.
It is.
If I had a choice in there in LA, I'd pick San Diego.
Oh yeah,
I love San Diego. I mean, it was.
I
feel like it's LA with less shitty people. You know what I'm saying? Like if that makes any sense. Like it's people are a little bit more. Not laid back, but not so
they're not
pretentious or full of or up their own ass kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate the word laid back, but it's not laid back. It's just that they're not. They have a lower level of sort of fakeness and putting on a front. They seem to be more genuine. in San Diego.
Yeah.
My experience. Well, but also LA is 10 times as many people, so it's, of course you're going to be a lot more assholes, right? I mean, just mathematically, there's going to be more of them.
I guess if you I guess if you do that type of that's true. There's more people. There's more likely to be. Yeah. I just think San Diego is just not that. It's just not that. It's never been that like a Hollywood place, like where not even a Hollywood place, just because LA's all fucking like it's all show business people. Everyone's trying to sell you something.
Yeah, San Diego's more of a beach town.
Everyone's like, people in San Diego just have like they just they work, but they like to have fun. They're still it's like whatever. They don't give a fuck.
We got to ride some fat scooters out there. How do you like those things?
Oh, I mean, if I had money, I'd get one right now.
Yeah, all right. Shout out to Drew and Guam over at Fat Scooters for hooking us up.
Fat Scooters in downtown San Diego, right?
That's right. We buzzed around on those things.
Everyone was looking at us when we were in. So basically, guys, if it's Fat Scooters, it's a place where it's electrical scooters, not gasoline.
Yep.
And they're actually customized where like they are like the tires are really big.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like it's like a. I guess it rides more like a golf cart, like because it's electric.
Okay, yeah.
But it has like big off-road tires on it, and you can sit on it like a Vespa. So it's kind of like a weird hybrid kind of thing. Go check it out at fatscooters.com.
Yeah.
PHATscooters.com.
Yeah, check them out.
But we had a good time doing that, and then at night we got hooked up. Josh Nelson. Shout out to Josh Nelson, giving us a spot at Ginger's.
Yeah, comedian Josh Nelson, out of San Diego. He's a great dude. Gave us a spot at Ginger's, which is actually downstairs from Barley Mash.
Barley Mash.
Barley Mash.
It's like a giant bar in downtown San Diego in the Gas Lab District.
Yeah, it's great. Great place.
Opening up for Sarah Tiana. Right? We didn't even know that. We fucking... Right?
Well, yeah.
I was like, holy shit, we must have bumped some locals. I felt bad for that.
Yeah, well, I would think because like, or whatever.
I thought it was going to be a showcase show.
That's usually what I.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're going to do a showcase.
Like, hey, there's like 4 or 5 people. Yeah. Then there's like one person who does more time. That's usually kind of like what we're used to around here. Around here, for the most part. But yeah, when I was like, because you went up. I was like, okay, cool, because I didn't see no. You know what that kind of messed because I didn't see it like a. There's
no sheet. There's no
sheet for the names.
There's no lineup. Nothing. It was just.
Yeah, and
where are the rest of the comics? And like, no, Sarah's not here yet. What do you mean, who?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, because for people who don't know, usually for people who are not comics, if you go, if you see like a showcase of like comedians at a place, there's a list that the person who's booking the show, whoever's hosting the show, will write who's going up and when they're going up and how much time that they're doing. So me and Randy like didn't see that at all, and we were just like, okay, like, are we just me and you like doing this? How Randy? I mean, you got some time, but I don't think we have half hours here.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing.
So I'm just like trying to figure it out, like, but then like, yeah, we did, and it was just me and Randy, and then like Sarah Tiana, comedian and actor who's actually on Crashing, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. She's just on Crashing.
Yeah, who's like a very nice person. She was very nice.
Super sweet. Super sweet.
Very nice. Southern girl.
Yeah, I want to say Texas. I think I'm not sure. We can look it up. Let me see. I'll Google it right now.
I want to say Georgia. I think she's from Georgia.
I could see Georgia. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to see Georgia. There's a lot more redheads in Georgia than Texas.
Wait, I don't think redheads have a certain part of the. Well, I would bet Massachusetts has more redheads than any other part of the country, just because, or any other state in the union, just because they have more Irish people.
Right.
But I don't think like Atlanta is known for redheads, dude, or the South for that matter.
Can I ask you a question? Is it weird that I've always thought that like Southern redheaded white girls usually are like from Georgia? Is that weird?
Southern redheaded white girls are from Georgia.
Like most of them come from.
I think you're thinking of like the antebellum South, like those cheesy Broadway musicals and shit. Where,
that's what I'm thinking.
Not Gone with the Wind, whatever the fuck that.
I don't know. Sally, what's her name?
I don't know, man.
Sally, is that the little girl? Annie.
Oh, Little Orphan Annie. Oh, you were right, dude. Calhoun, Georgia.
Yeah.
See? You were right. There you go. Chase got it. Chase got it. Sarah down in Calhoun, Georgia.
I know my white girls, son. I'm trying to tell you. I know my white girls, dude. Like I know.
Yeah, I will never doubt your knowledge of white women again.
Yeah, she was really nice, real funny. What'd you think about what do we do? We actually went to so the fat scooter thing, right? You know what's great about San Diego is that there's a lot of like restaurants like right on the water, like docks and piers and stuff like that. That was really cool. Like seeing like.
Oh yeah, because we just cruised down the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Dude, San Diego's the shit. My buddy Sully used to live there for like 2-3 years. I don't know why the fuck he ever left. The guy's crazy.
Probably left for more money or more opportunities.
Well, he had a lot of things he was dealing with.
Sure.
And he would look for a job and whatever. But either way, it's just like if you can like hold down a job in San Diego, do that.
Just do that.
Yeah. And all you listeners out there,
you met the fucking San Diego was great, man. Like if I was to move to another B, like kind of like a B city, and the reason why I'm saying B city in terms of
not New York and LA.
Yeah. Like I would go there or Seattle.
Seattle's dope.
Yeah.
Seattle's real sick.
Yeah, I would go to Seattle or San Diego just because it's.
Yeah, I like Portland, Oregon. I'm a big fan of Portland. And Denver. I like Denver.
Yeah, you like the
mountains.
You like the mountains. You like the mountains. You like the mountains. Yeah.
But then we went up to LA. Big shout out to Lizzie Weiss for having us at the Dope Show, the coolest backyard of all time. That was a fucking fun show.
Oh yeah. Well, shout out to like Madhouse Comedy too.
I got shout out Madhouse did Madhouse Comedy on Friday night down in San Diego.
I got shout out Madhouse Comedy Club. Kind of like it's in a place where it's like a little bit like it was like in an abandoned like an abandoned mall. Yeah, that's on like you have to go all the way to the top, which is like I was like, oh, this is kind of like cool and weird at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And just so shout out to Madhouse Comedy Club for giving me a spot there. And then we went off to L.A. after that.
That's right.
We went to L.A. And as soon as we got to L.A., I think where did we go? Oh yeah, we stayed at the W. That's what
W in West Beverly Hills.
West Beverly Hills. That was a cool. As soon as we like went, this is so funny. We checked in, which it was a nice suite, that was a nice room.
Yeah, we had 2 separate rooms, which was nice.
Yeah, we
breathe on each other.
Yeah, well, let the listeners know we don't sleep in the same bed, Randy.
Oh no, we sleep. What are you talking about? I thought we sleep butt to face, dude.
And Randy's a big farter. He's a big farter.
Yeah, I break wind.
So yeah, we stayed there, and then I think we went to get some food at downstairs, and like as soon as we it's just like as soon as we walk through the fucking restaurant, there's this like hot like hostess, like we're just like me and Rainey just look at each other.
Stunning, like distractingly good looking.
Yeah, like.
I was like, why? I was like, why is she working here? What is she doing here?
Right.
I was like, should she be on TV already?
Should be on TV already? Yeah. It's just like, LA is just like full of people like that. Just you never know who you're gonna see. Beautiful people everywhere.
Well, I mean, it's part of their shtick, dude. It's the LA thing, you know.
Yeah.
Looking good is feeling good. That whole bullshit.
Mm-hmm. You just got back from Dallas, man.
Yeah, I was just hanging out in Dallas.
Yeah.
Just took a couple of days visiting a friend of mine down there, dealing with some bullshit. Needed to cheer him up, so I went down there, hung out for a bit. You know how it is.
And I like how you're like, I came for them.
Yeah. They need some cheering up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what, I talk shit, have a good time. That's my thing. What do you want what the fuck you want from me, man?
What do you want from me, Chase? That's it. I'm out killing people over here, you know what I'm saying?
Trying to simplify my life.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about,
what's up?
What'd you think about the whole big thing? We actually, this is the thing, we talked about it on the fucking podcast, the 100th episode, but it's not going to come out.
Yeah, they don't know that.
Right. So, but
I'm sure I might have a different opinion today. Who knows?
No, not this one. I think you have to keep the same opinion. The whole thing about, it was a topic of, with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk when he was on his podcast.
Oh, yeah, because that meme went all around the world now with Elon Musk smoking weed. And actually, I saw an article, was going to talk about it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I still have it.
Well, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like, basically what happened was like Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast like recently. I think it was like last week or something.
Yeah, last week.
And then they were talking about all this like, AI stuff. And to be honest with you, I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about until like an hour and a half later. I had to like Google what AI was, and I obviously I was like, they're talking about Allen Iverson. What the fuck are they talking about? Like, it's like, because he kept on saying AI. I'm like, what the fuck is AI? Like, and then I was like, oh, artificial intelligence. I'm like, oh, Chase, you get a little bit smart. You get a little smart every day, But so at some point during the podcast, I don't know if like Joe Rogan offered him like the weed, like it was weed and tobacco mixed, or Elon Musk had it. It was his and he smoked it. I don't know.
Joe offered it to him.
Joe offered to him. Joe will always. He's gonna take that opportunity. He's gonna take that opportunity.
I always offer our guests a drink or whatever makes them comfortable. They can say no.
So he did it, right? Obviously, he was cooling. He was fucking smoking. He was talking, right?
Yeah, he took a hit.
Oh, really? Well,
it was like one hit, and then he was like, nah, and then he gave it back to Joe.
They gave it back to him. All right. So,
but he did smoke.
I think with the guy, first of all, there's a couple of components to this, right? One, right? Well, the biggest part of this backlash that he got was the fact that people of investors of Tesla or the stock went down 6%.
Yeah, I pulled the article up just as you were talking to, so I can tell you what happened after the aftermath with the stock.
Yeah, so
so it says Elon Musk's high and Tesla's low. Stocks and bonds tumble on CEO's latest shenanigans. It says Tesla Inc.'s stock tumbled on Friday, and its junk bond slid to a fresh low after the electric car maker's chief accounting officer quit, and the chief executive officer appeared to smoke a joint during a filmed interview with Joe Rogan. Tesla stock was down as much 10% in early trading, trading at a low of $252.25. Tesla's bonds fell, blah, blah, blah. I said the stock took a nosedive after the news of the chief accounting officer, Dave Morton, resigned on September 4th, less than a month after joining the company. And then apparently, Musk smoked a joint with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So apparently these two particular items drove the stock down 10%. Now, I wonder how much of that is related to him smoking weed versus their top accounting officer leaving. But the fact of the matter is the fact that anybody's talking about the fact that a 48-year-old grown man smoked weed on his own time in a state where it's legal is like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
It's like it's like do we ask the CEO of Ford Motors how often he jerks off every week? No, because it's none of our fucking business.
That's true.
It's his own time.
It's his own time.
And it doesn't make him a bad person.
Right. No, which is not.
Do we ask the CEO of fucking Walmart what kind of porn he or she watches?
No.
No, because it doesn't it's irrelevant.
Right. If it's kids porn, that's a different story.
Well, that's a crime.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that he wasn't committing a crime.
Just making sure.
And he's an LA resident. He was in the state of California.
Right. Not working. Right.
Not working.
Well, I guess those guys are always working, I guess.
No, but he wasn't at the office.
I don't think, but you're still.
He was on Joe's property.
Yeah, but if you're okay, let me ask you a question. If you're at that level, especially if you own a company, you're always working. There's no off time, Rainey, right?
Yeah, but I think that's inappropriate. That's another problem.
What part?
That there should be an off time.
There should be an off time, right? Okay.
Like there is people. If people aren't allowed a personal life, right, then that basically makes us all slaves to somebody else, to a corporation.
Let me ask you a question.
I have my time, and you have no say what to do with my fucking time.
Right.
Like your employer isn't your owner. When did being an employee become being owned by the corporation? This is what I want to know. Dude, 50 years ago, when people went home, they went fucking home. Nobody asked what happened at home.
Right, after 5 o'clock. That's
you know what I'm saying? Like your shift ended and that was it.
But that's my question though. It's like this guy's he's I think it's a little different.
Yeah, it is. He's more important to his company, so they should let him do what the fuck he wants. He owns. Right. He's the biggest shareholder in the corporation. He's driving all their innovation.
Right.
They should shut their fucking mouth because God forbid he doesn't want to show up to work the next day.
He's making.
You know what I'm saying? The whole fucking company disappears.
Yeah. Without him, nothing would happen.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And also, and I said this at the live taping too. I think the entire country is going to wake up 20 years from now and realize we were on the wrong side of cannabis prohibition. Just the way we realized we were on the wrong side of alcohol prohibition in the early part of the 20th century.
I thought you were going to go with slavery, but
slavery too, dude. Slavery too. It's just wrong, dude. Women's right to vote that came around in 1920. We spoke about that 2 weeks ago.
Just 100 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. We're gonna wake up and be like, wow, we were wrong. We put millions of people in jail behind these horrible laws that make no fucking sense. Mm-hmm. We enrich drug cartels from other countries behind this shit. This is absurd.
Right.
Well,
the thing is,
smoking weed is the biggest non-fucking issue in this country. I mean, the only reason the issue is because it's illegal.
Yeah.
There are more alcohol-related and cigarette-related deaths, 20 times more than all illicit narcotics combined. And that includes fucking heroin and cocaine. It's ridiculous.
Do you think it's more of
it's a big red herring. People are worried about nothing.
Do you think it's just basically. Do you think the reason why we have like these particular like conversations about weed is just because like, you know, lefties and, you know, righties just want to make it like a topic of discussion for it to be like to separate their politics, like
but I think what we're seeing now is the fact that everyone's making so much money in the cannabis game that both sides are starting to ease up on their prohibitionary, because like, oh, there's money to be made here. There's money to be made here. You know, finally there's enough of a push from everyday Americans.
Yeah.
And once one state legalized it and saw the windfall of money, now it's like, oh well, now we got like this, like when you see Colorado making $2 or $3 billion a year in tax revenue from sale of cannabis. Right. It's like, well, shit. Like every state wants their cut. You know what? I mean, it would be like $20 billion a year to New York. Yeah. If the state of New York legalized it and taxed it, like it would be a giant windfall of money into the coffers of the state. So like, the money's starting to be there. It's just starting to really show up. But I just think it's morally wrong. I mean, like, you know, like
to tell you what to do.
You got smokers to smoke and drinkers to drink, and you're not going to allow people who use cannabis to use cannabis. Like from a biological health risk standpoint, it is no worse. Actually, far less dangerous to you physically than those two alone. So I don't understand.
Right.
Like you just have no moral leg to stand on either.
I just thought the Elon Musk thing is just interesting because like he's like the owner.
Well, that's horseshit. That
creator,
guy should, I mean, yeah,
he's the like owner. He's the like whatever creator. He's the guy, right? So it's like, but I wanted to like the whole thing about like when you said about like just leaving work and you have to leave it at home. I mean, you have to leave it at work, right? And you have your own time to do whatever the fuck you want. Do you think like it's fair for these guys who are like the Elon Musk of the world, the fucking like the Bill Gates of the world, the fucking Warren Buffetts of the world, the people who drive innovation and like create things for people,
the big titans of industry, those guys.
Do you feel like they should be held? They should always be held to a more higher. Like, is it more of like a higher standard, or is it more towards because they're because for me personally, if you smoke a few, if you like, obviously he's still fucking creating shit, so it's not like he's getting dumber. You know what I mean? He's not like
I mean, he's not putting his company at risk. You know, so I don't look. I'd much rather him smoke a joint than jump out of a fucking airplane and skydive if I was a Tesla shareholder, because he's worth more to the company alive than dead. You know, like so I don't get there. Like the moral outrage is just misguided first, and then just the rational outrage, like, oh, he's harming himself. That's also a bunch of horseshit.
It's interesting. They never said this about like Sir Richard Branson. Sir Richard Branson used to do a lot of crazy shit. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, but he wasn't smoking weed on a live Joe Rogan podcast. Although he is a big proponent of legalized cannabis too.
He's big on that though.
Yeah, so I guess I
don't understand why they.
Well, he's British. The British are always a little bit cooler. You know, they always got the Europeans tend to be a little more lackadaisical as to what you do in your personal life. Like if like it's more acceptable to have vices.
Yeah.
But I mean, and he also started out in the music business, right? So like he didn't come in as a as a big tech nerd, right? He came in as like a rock star. Yeah, exactly.
He came from the art world. Yeah. It's more accepting than that. I mean, obviously, cannabis is more accepting. It just was stupid.
It's foolish. He's an adult. Let him do what he wants.
Yeah, but but it's not as easy said. I mean, they can't. Yeah, that's true. He is a fucking adult.
He's a grown man.
He's a very important adult to a lot of people.
I know, but but that doesn't give everyone in the world the right to say what he can and cannot do in his free time.
Well, it's kind of like us, right? As comedians, right? Like we have the freedom and like liberty to like say what we should say whatever the fuck we want to say on stage, right? But as soon as like we say something like people that may not like, then they want to castrate fucking kill us. If we say something, like again, another current event topic. The whole Norm Macdonald thing. What
happened with Norm Macdonald?
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't
hear
about that.
What happened now?
Pull it up because I'm like high right now. So basically, he was supposed to make an appearance on the Tonight Show, on one of the shows on NBC, one of the late shows.
Yep.
And he said he made some comments about the Me Too movement and about Louis C.K.
Okay.
I guess it was insensitive to NBC's audience, where they did not allow him to come on the late night show. If that made sense, hopefully it made sense the way I said it, but I'm sure Randy will clean that up.
I'm just reading right now.
Yeah, I know. You fucking, I'm I'm just watching this fucking
Gotham. I always got to worry about the source of the news I'm getting because this is editorialized already. I can tell.
Yeah, Playboy.com. You gotta get off that.
No, it's Gothamist. I mean, it sounds like some sort of liberal rag.
Yeah, well, just get I usually read the middle.
Yeah, exactly. I try to get fucking BBC or something. But during his first interview with the Hollywood Reporter, McDonald seemingly came to the defense of Louis C.K., Roseanne Barr, and Chris Hardwick for their various scandals. Quote, there are very few people that have gone through what they have, losing everything in a day, he said of C.K. and Barr. Of course, people go, what about the victims? But you know what? The victims didn't have to go through that. He also said he was happy the Me Too movement has slowed down a little bit.
Yes. That's what he did say, yes.
After the initial Twitter apology, McDonald next appeared on the Howard Stern show, where he argued that he never defended C.K. and Barr and that he's completely behind the Me Too movement. He added, "You don't have to have Down syndrome to not feel sorry for Me Too is what you want for your daughters." And he's making no sense. He said, "You don't have to have Down syndrome to not feel sorry." He said, hashtag Me Too is what you want for your daughters, and you want that to be the future of the world, of course.
Right.
And I meet all kinds of women with terrible stories of what's happened to them. So I wasn't talking about the victims. They asked me about Roseanne. So I mean...
Yeah, but basically, he made some comments about Me Too and Louis C.K. and I guess NBC. He was going on a late night show.
Oh, I see. And then they got upset with him using the word retarded in his apology. It says McDonald then appeared on The View today, or I guess yesterday, where he apologized for his Down syndrome remarks. Said it's always bad when you have to apologize for an apology. Norm McDonald told the co-host, "There is a thing with Howard where there's a recklessness in the studio. There's a word we use to use to mean the word stupid, and I used that word and I stopped and thought about it and what the right word to say was. I realized at the moment I did something unforgivable in referring to his use of the word retarded." So in his apology for his remarks about the Me Too movement, he used the word retarded and got in trouble for that. Okay. That's effectively what happened.
Okay, all right.
I mean, obviously, I don't know what the fuck he's doing talking about, what his comments relates to Roseanne Barr were. Louis C.K. obviously, got back on stage recently. There's a big to-do about that. Yeah. But Chris Hardwick was cleared. Chris Hardwick was cleared of his...
what? HPV? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
No, there was some Me Too rumors about Chris Hardwick. AMC investigated and then exonerated him.
Okay,
but no one talked about the exoneration because the main story is always bigger than the retraction.
Yeah.
But the other two did fuck up. But I mean, look, the Me Too movement isn't slowing down, so I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. Fucking
Les Moonves just went down.
Huh?
The executive producer of 60 Minutes, another executive at CBS went down.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's it's just one,
It's also Norm Macdonald. Guy's a fucking maniac.
That's what he's known to do.
Dumb shit.
He's
look,
Norm Macdonald. He was the guy that was on, if I'm not mistaken, Weekend Update for many years, right?
Oh, he was the best. He was the first guy to drop an F-bomb on SNL.
So
on live TV.
He's a comedian. He's known to push the... that's what he fucking does,
But I think his apology was a bad apology. That's without question.
Well,
fumbled the shit out of that thing.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
It's just I'm just saying it goes back to the whole Elon Musk thing.
Guys keep falling, man. They haven't gotten me.
Yeah, not yet because you're not famous. You're not yet. No one cares us about that.
I don't think they got nothing on me.
I'm sure there's some things. I'm sure there's
because I'm not. Because you're not famous.
No one fucking knows.
There's nothing on you because no one cares about you.
No one cares about you yet.
Thanks,
bro.
Chase. I appreciate that.
When you start fucking having certain
Oh, here's something I want to talk to you. I wanted to ask you about. Actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about because everyone seems to be talking about it. I hate talking about topics that everyone's talking about, so we don't talk about Trump basically anymore. It's very rarely. Mm-hmm. But this whole Mark Wahlberg thing. You see this bullshit? Everyone's mocking about how Mark Wahlberg posts about how early he gets up every day.
Oh,
have you seen this meme that's going around?
I think I saw something about that. Yeah, what the fuck's the difference?
So have you heard about this shit? So apparently Mark Wahlberg every morning, on Instagram, just posts what time he gets up.
Sure.
And every morning it's earlier and earlier. He's doing kettlebell swings at 4 a.m. and jumping in ice cold lakes and shit at 3:30 in the morning.
He looks good. He's almost 50, right? He looks good, right?
I don't know how the fuck old he is, but I'm saying Well, how do you feel about all these celebrities? Like, because The Rock did this shit for a long time. Kevin Hart does this shit. All these celebrities that are like posting how early they wake up, how hard they work, and like, you know, do you think it's first of all, do you think it's real, or do you think it's just a fucking promotional stunt like everything else they do?
That I don't know. I wouldn't be able to fucking. I would think. That's hard to say. They could lie, but I would pay attention to like the data and their fucking their success and to see how like
yeah. But do you think being a celebrity is hard work?
Is it hard?
Like
work?
When you're The Rock, do you think it's hard work?
I don't think it's when you're I don't understand the question.
When you think you're Mark Wahlberg, do you think you're really grinding? You think Mark Wahlberg's really fucking
yeah? You think
really? You think Mark Wahlberg just doesn't get ideas handed to him every day?
No, I'm sure he does, but he doesn't. I mean, you don't get to that level of just like people handing you shit. You know what I mean? You got to cultivate.
No, but when you are Mark Wahlberg, I don't care about what he did 25 years ago. Right now, yeah. Is he really grinding?
Well, I mean, not in that sense. No, not in that sense. Yeah, because he's not like sleeping on people's couches anymore. Not like, taking whatever. Yeah, I mean,
and therein lies my point. These guys are like. I think it's making people feel bad about their situation in life. Like, people work hard. Like, dude, guys are going to a coal mine every day, really grinding.
Yeah.
Really fucking breaking their back. And they're like, I'm working my tits off.
All right.
And this guy's over here talking about how hard he works. I got to work harder. I think it's insulting to the every guy.
I don't think so.
I think
just different, just channeling just two different types of people.
And I also think it's bullshit. I used to do this too, like brag about how much work you do. Like, oh, I spend 20 hours a day at work.
I think The Rock does, but I know how. I know, like, The Rock. I could say he's a machine. Like, that guy's fucking, like, he works hard.
Yeah,
he works
a lot, but doesn't mean he works hard.
Right, dude. This guy's he's what, like, you think he just like shit just happens and they just like fucking like work out and like
now
people offer their movies and they
he's not putting out tapes. It's not a documentary of himself at 22 working his way up the ranks of the WWE.
Yeah, but
he's stepping off a plane, going into a private gym, talking about, grind at 4 a.m. It's like, dude, because you slept for 12 hours in your fucking, in your private flight from Hong Kong to fucking New York. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. It's a little bit overblown. They're making themselves out to be like some sort of, it's like looking back and saying I don't know. It seems like a promotional stunt.
Well, I mean,
it seems like some brand building bullshit.
Yeah, what they're doing is like, yeah, I mean, that's the way that's the way social media is now.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they shouldn't do it.
But I'm trying to understand. Like, are you saying because they're not really working hard? They're just like kind of like showing like certain
celebrities
things?
Now. Yeah, they're just kind of. It's just a way for them to show off and not seem like a fucking asshole doing it.
Right.
They're working out in their private gym with next to their Ferrari. And it's like, oh, they're just flossing and they're using, but they're saying they're working their ass off. It's like,
but how do you answer to the fact of like to all the stuff that they're producing and all the stuff that they're doing? Like, how do you answer for that?
I mean, they have whole teams that work with them, dude. I mean, they have managers and agents and shit. I mean, Mark Wahlberg just says yes or no most of the time. He's not in the writers' room writing fucking scripts.
No, but they still have to like be in front of a camera and put in the hours and like film, like, you know what I mean.
I don't think acting is as hard as swinging an axe. You know what I'm saying,
Randy? Have you ever acted? Like, have you ever acted before? It's hard. It's fucking hard.
Yeah, it's difficult to do it well. It's not hard on you physically. It's not like it wears you the fuck out.
What? Dude, you're
gonna tell me it's harder than being a fireman and running into a burning building? You're gonna tell me acting's harder than that?
No,
go ahead.
I'm not talking about in comparison to a firefighter
or a cop who gets shot at, or a teacher at school.
Let's slow down for a second, bro. Yeah, what you're doing is you're trying to like bring other like different examples. That like I'm talking about just the acting itself, right? When you act, right? Most of the time, you're fucking just like waiting, like for shit to happen. You know what I mean? So you do a scene for like an hour, then you have to wait another 3-4 hours, right? Then you're like, all right, then you got to do another scene, then you cut. Some of these fucking like films like 18-hour days, 16-hour days. It's fucking tiring.
And you're waiting for 10 of them. That sounds difficult.
I mean, it's harder than you think, you know. When someone's on the couch, yeah, like you know what I mean. Like, it's
all right. I know how waiting in a trailer can really break your ass, you know. Fucking. You just showed every listener how little you want to work. It's like, oh, acting is a real drag. I got to work for 20 minutes in a 16-hour day.
Those are my shooting days, right?
It's a real fucking strain.
Those are my shooting days.
I get exhausted from all the sleeping I'm doing.
Yeah. No, I don't.
No, I know, but
in comparison to like
a tough physical job, I get it. But look, being a good actor is difficult. It is a skill to learn, and there is definitely an art to it.
But you've been talking about but you also mentioned these you mentioned one of the three most busiest people
jobs,
in fucking in show business, right? These guys are not fucking sitting around just having things handed to them. Yeah, they are in terms of scripts and fucking opportunity, for gigs and shit like that. But you still have to fucking do the work. That's the thing. This is the thing with fucking comics. It's the same thing. Comics think shit's just because you make it to a certain level and shit's get handed to you, you still can't. You still got to perform, bro.
Yeah.
You still got to fucking maintain that level of success and keep that train moving. You know what I mean? So it's but in comparison to a fucking firefighter and a cop,
they're not breaking their ass.
They're not fucking putting their life on the line. I mean, they're not fucking. Yeah, of course not. It's fucking entertainment. It's called show business. If they wanted to do that, then it'd be a firefighter, or just fucking be me and just fucking sit in a trailer for only 3 hours out of 18. You know what I mean? But I would agree. I would agree with you. I mean, I'm just, I always will fight for an artist. That's just how I am.
I know. Let's do a little more news story talking about it. Do a couple more and then get you out of here. And actually, on our way out after the news, we'll play you guys a little interview we did with Tam Berhe, an NFL sports agent. We're in LA, but
let's not scale over that.
No, we'll do some news first. Roy Moore. Let's listen to this. Roy Moore, he's the Alabama judge who was running for Senate.
Alabama judge running for Senate, so he's probably white?
Oh, he's white. And he was also involved in a scandal wherein a couple of underage women had accused him of molesting them.
Oh, that was that guy back in the day.
Alabama, this guy.
And he didn't get elected,
no,
right?
Thank God. Thankfully they didn't fuck that up down there. Right. It says Roy Moore sues Sacha Baron Cohen, of Ali G fame, for $95 million over defamatory TV prank.
95 million. What the fuck? $95 million. Let me ask you a question. How the fuck they come up with these fucking lawsuit numbers, bro?
I don't know. I know if there's punitive damages and then there's different types of damages. So there is a way to calculate it all up.
Yeah.
There's compensatory, if you did lose this much money in a business deal, you get this much back. But then pain and suffering and
time
defamatory, they could be. I don't know. They just pull a number out of their ass. Sounds like
that's what I'm thinking.
Right out of their ass.
It's crazy. The whole Blake Griffin thing. He gets $250,000. He has to pay for child support every month.
There's some lame formula for that too. But
I don't want to get you hot. That's another topic.
Failed U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore on Wednesday sued comedian Sacha Baron Cohen for defamation and emotional distress after being pranked on the actor's television show. The lawsuit asks for $95 million in punitive and compensatory damages. The lawsuit appears to be the first actually filed by one of the string of politicians who were duped and humiliated by Baron Cohen on the show Who Is America, which airs on Showtime. The lawsuit filed Wednesday in federal court in Washington, D.C. accuses Baron Cohen of defaming Moore and says Moore, quote, suffered extreme emotional distress as a result of being falsely portrayed as a sex offender and pedophile on the show. Moore was duped into appearing on a segment where Baron Cohen demonstrated a supposed pedophile detecting device that beeped when it came near Mr. Moore. During last year's Senate race, Moore faced accusations that he pursued romantic and sexual relationships with teens as young as 14 when he was a prosecutor in his 30s. He has denied these allegations. Yeah, so Sacha Baron Cohen is famous for pulling pranks on people. I mean, he was Ali G, he was Borat. He's known for sort of playing these oddball characters that gets people to seem like buffoons in front of him. They sign releases. Right, this guy signed one under. He says he signed one under what he considers to be a false pretense because Sacha Baron Cohen didn't say he was doing a prank show. He just said he was doing a show, which is the fucking point of a prank show.
It's hard.
Because he appeared in character at all times. He didn't say I'm going to be in character. He appeared in character the entire time.
Well, he fucked up right from the beginning because he should
have signed up.
Well, he shouldn't have signed up. But if he did sign up, he should have fucking looked at his previous work of how Sacha is.
But he didn't say I'm Sacha Baron Cohen. He said I'm. Well, it was the producers who signed him up, but it was he only produced himself as the host of this like Israeli militant. But anyway, he
okay.
But what I love here is that how he says that he's defaming him because he accused him of being a pedophile.
Right.
But there are articles in circulation in the newspaper that accuse Roy Moore of being a pedophile already. So the worm is out. The can's up. Like the can't put the fucking worms back in that can. Like it's already
gone, brother.
Yeah,
it's already open.
So how the fuck is he like? How can this even be a lawsuit? Like,
well, it's because
they made him look like a pedophile. No, you touching 14-year-old girls made you look like a pedophile. You know what I'm saying?
People have, like,
I don't get it.
Yeah, like you like it's crazy to me how far people will go to protect lies.
Oh yeah, to sue in court to protect a lie.
You know what I mean? I never understood that, bro. Like I get it to a degree if you're like, if you're like a multi-millionaire and this could like potentially like jeopardize like millions and millions of dollars for you. Like you're gonna fight it to the end until you like, you know what I mean? I get that.
Yeah.
But if there's facts on the table, like
there's a story already in the news accusing you of being a pederast.
If someone's like allegedly calling you something and you're not, and 100% you're not, I understand you fighting for that, right?
Yep.
But if there's like facts, man, and if there's like a history of you doing this, it's like, dude, just fucking like, I don't know, like it's weird how people fucking, I don't know. And they waste money, they waste time, taxpayers' dollars. Like, you know what I mean? It's fucking like, it's, I don't know, dude. Just fucking, just I don't know, just give it up.
Like, yeah, dude, just let it. You look like an asshole.
You look like an idiot.
What's weird too, what I find crazy is that he's bringing more attention to it by suing him.
Right?
He's like, you're making it worse. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
It's not even smart on his own part.
I guess he's for some reason I think he's trying to he's a defamation, right? So he's trying to protect his image, but your image is already tainted.
Your image is already smashed.
It's already smashed. It's already tainted. So it's like, how do you like? That's another thing too. That's another fucking question too. How do you fucking like rehabilitate your fucking image? You know what I mean? Like that's weird. How do you like after your like your image has been fucking like fucked up, how do you like get that back?
Well, it's something that bad. I mean, if once you're called a pedophile, you're a pedophile for life.
For that, yeah. It's not like you can't be a part-time pedophile and be like, oh, I'm done right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's that's just what it is. Shit, I gotta go. Gotta move my whip. But but you know what I'm saying? Like if we could probably stop and I could come back and just do that part. But yeah,
that's fine. We got enough time. We can just wrap it up.
You sure?
Yeah, okay. Because we're gonna play another half hour after this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Finish what you were saying.
No, it's just how that's a question that maybe some listeners could like feed off of. Tell us like it's can you get back? Can you after you've not for pedophile, but like if you fuck up your like an image or towards people, how
bad can it be before you recover your image?
Yeah, and how far would you go? And how far will you go to
sue? I mean, he's not going to win. There's no way he can win that.
I'm not that smart. I don't know. There's people that's got off court for other shit. Maybe I'm sure he'll find some lawyer, judge, like especially if he's suing in Alabama. I'm sure he can choose something.
Goes to the right judge or some bullshit.
You know what I mean?
Who knows? Anyway, what do you got coming up, bud?
I don't know.
You just pasted it. You just posted a bunch of shit about it.
Yeah, we got a show tomorrow. Like that's right.
The Human Variety Hour at Jacques Cabaret.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking that thing.
I forgot all about that. It's all right.
And then them at the Berhe next week, Somerville, Mass, and Wednesday, and the Comedy Studio Thursday.
All right.
Somerville, both in Somerville. Oh shit, they're both in Somerville. I didn't even know that.
Good.
And then we got the Donnell Rawlings show. Yeah,
that's right. Donnell Rawlings, December 14th, 2018, Friday night, 10 o'clock. Comic Secure, we're doing it again. We're telling you guys like fucking a full 3-4 months early.
Yes.
So get some tickets now. They're
no comps.
They should be up, right? They should be up already?
Yeah.
Yeah, tickets are up. lapboston.com. Check it out. That's the big one. I will be in at Human Variety Hour with this fine gentleman Chase tomorrow night at Jacques Cabaret. Sunday I'll be in Houston at Drafts and Laughs, Spindle Tap Brewery with my boyfriend Jeff. Excuse me.
Spinal Tap, is that a club?
Spindle Tap Brewery. It's a brewery.
Oh, it's a brewery.
I haven't been. But going down to Houston for a day or two. And then, I got a whole bunch of dates in October, but I'll be at McGreevy's and I'll be at the Berhe. I just don't have the dates in front of me. But obviously, December 14th, Donnell Rawlings, Laugh Boston, come do it.
Please,
don't
guys.
worry, we won't fuck up the sound on that one. Thank you guys so much for continuing to stick with us. Sorry we couldn't deliver you episode 100 live.
But we got another episode.
But stick around after the little musical interlude because we're going to have our interview that we did with Tam Berhe, a NFL sports agent. Chase and I got wicked stoned before, and so it was really interesting.
It was an interesting podcast. Yeah. Tam's a great guy. He's a
good dude, young guy, smart. We talk a lot about the NFL. Did a lot about players' rights. At least I asked a lot of questions about it.
Yeah, we got into it. He's a great guy. So we were in LA. He was awesome to come by and visit us on the podcast. He breaks down, NFL players' contracts, the social injustices, how it's affecting the NFL right now.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the Colin Kaepernick situation and how Nike's playing that because he knows he's a marketing guy in his background.
Yeah.
So we talked a bit about that. So even if you
lawyer.
That's right, he's a lawyer. So if you guys don't if you're not even interested in the NFL, but you want to talk about race and sports, it's a good little segment to stick around for.
Yeah.
So thanks to Tam for doing that. That's it for this week, man. I guess we'll be back next week with Jordan Hage and CV, and maybe another episode.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Keep listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace, guys. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome everybody to a Gifted Hoods extravaganza. I'm your host, G-Dubs. I own every square that I stand on, the landlord. No handouts, so handoffs, handle myself. Ask for nothing, I'm demanding myself. As far as frontin', how'd you handle the mails? Concerned for the mental health of these rappers. Sluck them off one by one with a rhyme that I lost and I found in a book of matches. Classic like Air Max 1s and Gore-Tex jackets. Your status won't allow you to retain the fabric. Your brains vanish faster than your garments for trying to talk smart and got placed in the bad corner. It's full warning, call it bad karma. Like the marijuana when it's somber. Ain't drinking till I'm wetter than 30 minutes sitting up in the sauna. Respect the architect and reformer, I beg your pardon. Morning jogging, playing that Kenny Morgan. Stacking some real paper, you're tricking yours is starlets. All of these are hundreds like emojis in your comments. Meanwhile you're broke, we all need to be honest.
A distant star racing through space toward an inevitable collision with this planet.
Thought travel through different time zones for long-term paper. Not quick cake like scones, beat the landscape such a racial mess. We gotta get it together in a literal sense. Every move is pivotal when I step. Every tool is given respect. Every written wrote with finesse. Every hate is given rope. Now you give me your neck. We do business, I'm a man, my demands to be met. Rookie, watch you crumble under pressure like cookie. None fresher, fragrance on the dresser, closets of goodies. Watch mistakes, learn not to make the same. These are times when I run on and counting the bars to keep me sane. All praise due to whoever you pray to. Most of us are needy, defying a grateful. Too busy off dying, I live in the make moves. I wasted years' time and never await you. It's true.
All right, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Ready, Set, Blow podcast. This is going to be a special edition, another LA special.
LA special.
That's right. It's the end of the trip. This is the last one, the last podcast of the trip.
Wow.
You excited? Because we got a very interesting guest tonight.
Whoa.
We got another than Tam Berhe here, a sports agent extraordinaire.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, man.
What's going on? A lawyer. An actual lawyer. On the podcast. I never thought I'd see the day.
And I'm not billing you guys.
So talking to Mike, Tim.
Not billing us?
No, I'm not.
Appreciate that.
Hey, we appreciate
I'm
that.
just kidding. I appreciate you guys having me on.
No, of course. This is awesome. So I actually wanted to know, first things first, how did you get to know Chase? How did you hook this up?
Bro, Instagram.
There you go.
Power of Facebook. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It just connected us, and I think that's how it happened.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how we got it. It's the first time we ever met.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Like in person.
Okay.
Yeah. First time ever met.
Because Chase was saying you're just like Chase, you're Eritrean.
Yep.
And Chase was that. So I didn't know. I thought I was like, did you guys go to church with him growing up or something? I don't know.
Nah. Valid question. I got you.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm Eritrean. Tam is as well. But it's weird because in our culture, it's weird. You probably would never have like met a person, but as soon as you see them, it's like a cultural thing. It's like I don't know you.
You know what I mean? I feel you.
Like if you're Eritrean, like even if I'm like you never knew me, but like I'm Eritrean, it's just like
it's a connection.
It's a connection.
You feel like
there you go.
You know what I mean? And somebody else with a big head. You know what I mean? That looks like you. That's how I always feel. Because I have a big head, so when I was little, I see another Eritrean, I'm like, oh yeah, they know exactly what I'm going through. I need to meet them.
So where are you from originally? You from here or
I'm from California.
Okay. You said San Bernardino?
San Bernardino, Loma Linda area. Yeah. Okay. In that general vicinity, the Inland Empire.
Yeah. How'd you get into like sports? Did you play sports in high school?
Yeah, so I played high school football. Then I went to the University of Redlands. I played there for like
what position?
4 years. I was like a defensive end, like outside linebacker type, but mainly a defensive end. And then after that, during this process, like my 3 best friends at the time was like Jimmy Smith, who plays for the college. Where's he playing at?
He played for the Ravens.
He plays for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Can we start?
Yeah.
Can we go back?
Yeah.
We go far as
We'll go. No, I'm saying can we go back
to the beginning?
No.
We're good. Oh, we just mistakes will happen.
I got you.
It doesn't matter.
I got you. Nah, so my boy Jimmy Smith, who now plays for the Ravens, my boy Sharice Wright, who plays for the Raiders, and my other best friend, Alan Bradford, who played for the Atlanta Falcons and he recently retired. All of these guys were in college like at the same time.
All right.
And kind of collectively like came to me and were like, basically like, you kind of know what's going on. Do you want to?
Were these San Bernardino guys? Like,
yeah. We all went to Colton High together.
Okay,
so we
gotcha.
all played football at Colton High together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then as they were coming out, when they became like juniors or seniors, then we kind of started having like the conversation, like from them to me, like, can you help us do such and such? You know what I mean? Would you guide us in some of these decisions?
Now, what allowed them to do that? Was it like, was there something that, like, were you sort of an advisor to them casually? Like, how did that come to be?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I used to help them like. I used to help them in like high school, like in classes.
Oh, sure. So you're like the smart guy in the crew.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a smart dude in the crew. I mean, they're all smart.
Yeah, right. But you were like,
But I was doing like homework. They were working out extra.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like.
Oh, I see. Right.
Where we differed, but yeah. So they just called me up, and I think just because like they had the opportunity to like be in LA and just train and whatnot, they were like, "Hey, can you come out here and help us?" So then I went out there. I was like 21. And I was like helping them through the process of like finding an agent, like finding a place to like train. Like we fired agents, we hired agents, we fired financial advisors. Like we were making like a lot of decisions. And then I decided that I was going to go to law school so I could kind of, at that time I thought I needed to go to law school to become an agent, but I didn't. I just needed like a graduate degree. But with that in my head, I went to law school. And then I did the whole law school thing, and then got out and became an agent, started a sports agency, and then started representing guys.
That's wow.
Now, how many people do you have on your roster right now?
So we have we represent 6 guys right now, in different ways. Like we represent some in like agency contracts. So like my brother, we represent him, Nat Berhe, the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. He was on the Giants, right?
Yeah, he was on the Giants.
Yeah, I remember that.
He just signed. He just signed with the Steelers. So the missile has moved to Pittsburgh. Sharice Wright, who's with the Raiders. We represent Rosie Nix in his marketing. Jimmy Smith, and some other guys. So yeah,
that's a vast.
Bennett Jackson of the Ravens, who's had a hell of a preseason. All of my guys had a hell of a preseason. But yeah,
is it difficult to build a client list after you get your first client? Like, how does that work? Because a buddy of mine just became an NBA manager for a player.
Okay,
he's got like one guy, but he's trying to build. And I'm just curious, it's like, all right, well, how does it build from that? You know?
like our whole client base has essentially been built from like just word of mouth, essentially.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or guys will just see us basically like working our ass off for whoever, you know what I mean? And then they may be like, I like this, like, would you guys do this work for me? And I'm like, yeah, this is what we do. Like, we do this in our sleep, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just because like I just like try and go like above and beyond because my brother's a football player and that's the way I treat like him, where like I'm going above and beyond and make sure that like everything gets done, that like a strategy's in place, like for everything from the preseason to like during the season to after the season to, you know what I mean? If like a crisis comes up, like the way to approach it. And we apply that to like representing like other people, people who aren't my brother, but we treat them so well, you know what I mean? And we take care of their interests and we market them better, where more guys just see it and they want to like hop on.
It's funny you're talking about marketing because just before we flipped on the podcast here, we actually started talking outside about what Nike's doing with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your view on that. Like, I mean, do you think, obviously for him, it's a paycheck and the guy's been absolutely, I think he's been blackballed by the league.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is just fucking wrong.
Yeah.
But obviously, how do you think it reflects from his shoes, and what do you think? What do you think Nike's play is there? Because obviously, there's been some backlash, but I feel like people don't give a shit. It's Nike. Like you're gonna keep buying Jordans.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that Nike is ran by some brilliant people who understand that in the next like year or the next 2 years or maybe the next election, you know what I mean, that this whole narrative is going to begin to change, and Colin Kaepernick is going to be the civil rights icon that he will be, you know what I mean, and that he is right now. You know what I mean? Like, it'll start to reflect that, and Nike's big enough where they understand if we lose, you know what I mean, a couple purchasers or some shareholders, like, we're going to bounce back, because once the narrative changes after, let's say, this next election, then everybody's going to realize, okay, we kind of got conned into thinking that this person who's protesting, which is our constitutional right, you know what I mean, is somehow denigrating our country's, you know what I mean, like nationalism, like it's crazy. It's crazy to me. But I think that Nike just they see the future, and that's the reason why Nike's so big, is because they realize in a couple years, like, Colin Kaepernick is going to be like the Martin Luther King of like this time. You know what I mean? Like, and it sounds crazy, but it's like it's real, because he's given up everything for a cause that may not affect him individually.
Yeah, I mean, if that's actually like the way you put it in that respect. I think it's a smart play if Nike's getting ahead of the curve, because if you think about it, the last time an athlete in his prime was denied the right to participate in that sport just for their own belief was Muhammad Ali, and look at what he turned out to be.
Exactly.
Now, I don't want to sit here and say that Colin Kaepernick's going to be remembered as that.
Exactly.
Some people are saying that.
It's more so. He definitely made a larger impact than a lot of other guys who didn't, who lost nothing by doing nothing.
Exactly.
This is this says a lot about him, and it says a lot about like also the people who don't see exactly what he's trying to accomplish.
And I think the interesting, like we were talking about out there, about how they changed the narrative of what the protest was about. I just find it interesting that even if you don't get to that, the concept of taking a knee is more reverential than standing up.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how that just by itself is a disrespectful position. Like you bow to kings, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really, you bow to God. It's a much more reverential move. So I just thought it was so bizarre that they decided to change the narrative on that. But like you were saying outside, it's a political tool.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, to me, it just seems like, the president has figured out that there's a certain way that you can go about running things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's realized that Twitter is such a direct way to get a message out on anything. You know what I mean? That he's found that he can manipulate almost any situation for his base, you know what I mean? And that they'll believe it, so he just runs with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. I mean, it's no real tactic.
What do you think about the owner's response in terms of like making this rule that you have to stand or you have to stand in the locker room? I mean, where do you think that's going to shake out? Because I know the players' union's fighting that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the league is big enough to do, a lot of things. And I think that it's just the union's job to, through the next collective bargaining agreement, you know what I mean, to come to some kind of like agreement and understanding on what has been collectively bargained for and what has not. You know what I mean? And I think the league will be good on that. I think from a player standpoint, I think it's hard. I think from any employee standpoint, it's hard to be at work or being anywhere and I guess expressing, something that's near and dear to your heart. You know what I mean? Like the fact that, either me or, or you, Chase, you know what I mean? Or my boy Cedal, like we could just be driving down, you know what I mean, like Hollywood Boulevard, and the police could pull us over and we could lose our life simply because, the situation escalates in a way where, now someone who's doing something that maybe just a nervous reaction now looks like something that's, violent or, you know what I mean? Like negative in a sense. And you could lose your life. So it's like they're kneeling for like a real reason. Like it's some of these guys are like, a lot of these guys have like real reasons. You know what I mean? And are well informed on it. Like Jarrell Casey from the Titans, his wife actually went to Loyola Law School with me. You know what I mean? He's married to a lawyer who's smart. Who understands what's going on. So guys are taking principled, stances, and they're doing things that mean more to them than money. You know what I mean? And I think it's hard to knock that.
I mean, like I said, it takes a certain. You can't come back from that.
Yeah, you can't.
So what are the biggest concerns going on right now with players from a management standpoint? Is everyone just trying to build their own separate brand? Is that where the tides are shifting in sports management, or is it, because obviously I know in the NFL they have their own problems in terms of the players needing more power versus the NBA or the MLB, but are players more just concerned about themselves, or are they actually thinking about team building at all?
I mean, I think that, we have like a full service like agency. So we run through like the contract negotiations, you know what I mean? So it really from the contract negotiations to the marketing to the crisis management to the PR, like we've just built a team of enough like talented people where like we can do that, you know what I mean? We have like 10 people like that literally dedicate their time to these athletes. So it's really like the most important thing really just, it all matters like during the time of the year, you know what I mean? Like, during the spring, the most important thing was like getting guys on teams, trying to make sure that we found a way to negotiate and get guys more money or more benefits. During the season, it's really just trying to make sure you can find guys, like housing and maybe connect them with let's say like massage specialists and people of that nature who can help them like maintain their body. If they get released like during that time, it just matters like the time of the year. Okay. During the season is usually, it's usually a little bit easier. You know what I mean? But it can change week to week. During the off season, the job is a little bit easier just because it's mainly like marketing and whatnot. Yeah. But you're not dealing with any high level, this could be a make or break decision with this person's career, It's during the off season. As long as they don't get in any trouble.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
It'd be fine.
All right.
Stay inside.
Are you guys thinking about moving over just from the NFL into other sports? Or?
Yeah, you know what? I actually last night I was looking.
Can you do that? I don't know if is that allowed.
Yeah. No, you can. I'm actually thinking about, or I'm actually going to get certified in the NBA. Okay. So I'm gonna take the test and do all that necessary stuff. I think applications are due like soon, so I'm gonna get on that. Okay. But it just came to me last night. I saw somebody else that I went to law school with. They had like started a sports management company, and they negotiated. This guy was a young guy. I forgot his name, but he had negotiated $200 million contracts in back-to-back off seasons. So shout out to Loyola Law School. Then I said, we got to get into basketball. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got to help guys get money and generational wealth.
Oof. And that's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
So are you guys pretty aggressive in terms of recruiting like players out of college coming in the draft, or you on the road meeting with all these people?
You know it's crazy.
I bet it's pretty cutthroat out there if you really want to get into it like that.
Yeah. We've actually never recruited. We've never recruited anybody really.
Okay.
Like we've really just built. But this off season we're going to start recruiting college guys. But we've really just built with like veterans who see us doing better work. Than maybe their people are doing. Peers, you know what I mean? And we don't approach them or speak to them. You know what I mean? But they come to us and reach out to us. sometimes and want to do work. You know what I mean? Or they may not have an agent. But a lot of times it's just like, people who may know of the work that we've done or see how like our players are set up, or you know what I mean, or the way we do things.
Right.
And they want to come over and work with us. And a lot of them have been my friends. Like I started out where I represented two guys who were my best friends, still my best friends. Like Alan Bradford and Sharice Wright. I represented those guys. You know what I mean, towards like the middle and end of like Alan's career. But yeah, so those relationships were just built like organically, and then maybe they may have a friend who's out of the league who wants to get back in the league, who doesn't have an agent, you know what I mean? And if the tape looked good, and maybe if it was just a numbers game why they didn't make the team before, then we may think that it's worthwhile to invest our time and build them up, build up their marketing, you know what I mean? Try and put together a deck and whatnot, and get it to teams that look like they can make their roster. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how we've built. But we're going to start recruiting guys. But it's cutthroat. You have bad actors. You know what I mean? You have agents paying players. You know what I mean? Like we'll never pay a player. Like it's not worth my license. It's not worth anything. You know what I mean? Like But there's agents that pay players. Like I remember when I was young, like we'd sit in with meetings with agents, and it would be agents who were paying players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now you have a guy making a decision, not because this is in his best interest, but he's making the best decision.
He owes somebody money,
because
he owes them money, or it's in the best interest of their. It's nuts. But the business just gets like dirtier and dirtier. Like I was on Twitter actually like a couple, like maybe like 2 days ago. And this guy, like, because every once in a while, like I'll search like the names of my players, find out what's going on, what people are saying. It doesn't necessarily benefit them, but it helps us kind of see, if we should do campaigns or do what things like. You usually sell better when things are going well. You know what I mean? It's life. But so we'll check up on this stuff. But I just see like this guy, and he's just like railing on my brother. Like he's just talking crazy about him. Like, but these are like written out like mess. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's such and such. He's one dimensional. Like just stuff that's not true.
Right.
So I'm like, I kind of like follow the thread, and someone's like, and he's like hyping another player. But someone's like, don't you represent him? Like the guy. And then I click on his profile and it's another agent. And I'm like, bro, this
competitor trashing one of your players.
Like I've never seen you don't do that.
That's
like some high school shit.
You know what I mean?
It's like,
yeah, bro, I'm like, that's bush league.
That's some fuckery shit right there.
So the business is definitely dirty, but we definitely, we got two lawyers, who are part of our company, myself and another guy, and we try to make sure that everything that we do is right,
as accurately
principled. You know what I mean? Because then in the long run, like we never take referral fees for anything. You know what I mean? Like if it's trying to find a guy a car or get a guy some like work done, like we don't take referral fees because we're no longer independent. You know what I mean? Now we're just getting paid.
Just trying to maintain the sort of the integrity. And it speaks to it would speak to the kind of brand you want to build. Obviously, I'm sure there are guys out there that are throwing money around and they get the players that
they just want,
they're throwing crazy money.
Would you take on a project player like that? Like a player who's had like disciplinary problems, or not necessarily a guy who's trying to come back. Because he was hurt, but a guy who's been like hard headed and would you take on a project like that?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that like. When I initially built our agency is called it's Over the World Lionshare Sports Group. Or we're gonna change it. We're gonna rebrand. We actually just partnered up with Seattle's talent agency.
Nice.
So we're gonna rebrand soon, but. I think I got lost.
No, just asking about taking on a project player.
Okay, yeah. No, I would definitely take on a project player. That's like to me. That's
is that what you're best at?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm good at crisis management. We're good at trying to change.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
The narrative. You know what I mean? Like that's where we excel at. So
can a player when you do contracts? Obviously for players that makes sense. You got a contract and whatever. But then so when you get a client, do they necessarily have also a contract with you, or can a player just say, hey, I'm not happy with you, I'm going with a different agent?
How hard is it? How hard is it to drag another guy away from his current agent?
So before the draft, the way it works, so players sign what are called SRAs, which are standard representation agreements, which is basically like a boilerplate template from that's been agreed upon by the NFL and NFLPA. And it basically just sets out like the name of like the player, the agent, the commission, whether it be and the commission runs between 3% and 1%, of a contract. So you set out all those details, and then there's usually an addendum before the draft, which basically says that if a player were to fire the agent that's representing him, he would have to pay him back the amount that he's invested in training. And training, stipends, cars, like sometimes
upfront costs, whatever.
Yeah, during like it usually runs agents like between like 20 and like 50 grand, like during during those like couple months when a guy's out of college and before the draft. So they have like addendums that basically say that if that player were to leave them, that either him or his new agent would have to pay them back. So that's like the safeguard once guys leave. But a lot of times, then that just forces you to go to arbitration, and sometimes you don't get all that you've put in. You know what I mean, back in arbitration. So it's a little dicey, and that's kind of what's kept us away from like recruiting guys, because we felt like our time and energy was better set getting project players that are, that are good, but they just haven't been in like the right system.
Or something.
Guys who excel, guys who be Pro Bowlers, all pros, but they just have been in systems where either, coaches didn't like them for whatever reason, or, or the system just didn't fit, or they wanted them to play a role that they necessarily didn't play. So like when those type of situations come up, we just try and do our best to represent them.
Now, do you also like build relationships with the coaches and the GMs? Because obviously, if you're, so I'm sure there are coaches and GMs out there that are better with the type of clients that you work with, like like a Bill Belichick. That guy always has guys like this on his roster. We could go talk to him. Does that sort of happen naturally, or do you cultivate that directly?
I mean, I think that just takes time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And years of just doing contracts with different,
teams and whatever.
With teams, and usually if you have a guy drafted higher, the relationship usually will kick off better. You know what I mean? But most GMs are good people. You know what I mean? I don't think any GM is like, they're all just doing their job. You know what I'm saying? So they're regular people. You know what I mean? So it's easy to kind of, if you have a commonality with one, or if you guys just kick it off, you may, in the long run, get better negotiations. You know what I mean? Or whatnot.
Yeah. What do you think about with the NFL and like the whole? Before, with the concussion stuff and everything. Do you see any of that actually making an impact also at, the long run in terms of making money, like because of players?
Yeah, it's player safety. I mean, like, 'cause I'm wondering if guys on your roster are more concerned about it and like, shit, I don't know if...
Yeah, I mean, I would say that as a whole, I'd say a majority of the players who I've spoken to since, let's say, the movie Concussions came out, a lot of guys have, I see kind of like the narrative in a sense, or their desire has kind of shortened in how long they want to play. Guys may have went from, I want to play 15, 16 years to like, I want to play 7 or 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I want to play, a couple more. You know what I mean? And guys are also taking that to account when, teams offer them deals that maybe, aren't really worth them coming out and risking their life to play, so they stay and wait until a better deal comes out. You know what I mean? But all of that, I think, is them just being aware of the long-term effects, you know what I mean, that could come from this game.
Could come, right.
Yeah. Are you big in helping your clients sort of prepare for life after football? I mean, knowing that obviously the dangers in it.
Yeah, I think that, I've only had one client that's retired. Alan Bradford, he retired recently. And just trying to, we've done a good job setting guys up where guys during their career are making good decisions that will later on benefit them. You know what I mean? Whether that be opening businesses or investing in like the equity markets or like whatever it may be that sticks out to them. You know what I mean? We try our best as like an agency to assist them in figuring that out. If a guy wants to open up a coffee shop, like, we'll dedicate someone on our team to find out all they can about coffee shops, you know what I mean? Right. And then bring them the options, you know what I'm saying? And try to assist them through that process.
Right. You're not setting up for failure. You want
you see what I'm saying?
In every way possible. You don't want them to.
We don't want them to fail at anything.
At anything.
You know what I mean?
Right.
no matter what it is.
So what's the most difficult part of the job? Like, what's the part that you're like, oh shit, I got to deal with this again? You don't have to share specifics. You don't have to name names.
No.
This podcast is no evidence, no names. that's how we predicate with anything that we do.
I mean, truthfully, it's like I don't. There's really not a part that I don't like, because I enjoy when it's like when things get shaky. That's when I'm having like the most fun, which is crazy, because I feel like in those moments you can come back from that and do way more. You know what I mean? Like you can come back from like a negative and do a lot more as long as you position yourself right and you strategize, you know what I mean, the right way. You can get any guy that's not in the league or is in the league and is under like disciplinary, you know what I mean, type actions or restrictions. I feel like if you have the right person like in their corner strategizing for them like the way we do, like you can get anybody back in the league. You can get anybody like into a successful career. They just have to buy into.
They have to buy into the vision.
Yeah, the fact that we're never going to tell you anything that we don't want to help you. You know what I mean? Like we're not telling you things that we don't want to like help you. You know what I mean? Like I always try to tell guys, I'm like, hey, like no matter what, like whether you like what I say or you don't agree, or we don't agree with what we want to do in like this moment or with this plan, like just always remember that my opinion and where I'm coming from is always just trying to help you.
Yeah.
That's it. Like there's no hidden agenda, you know what I mean? I'm not some inside spy trying to ruin your career. Like no, this is all coming from good intentions in a good place.
That reaches a certain level of trust at the utmost, you know.
So what are the big comeback stories that you think like, oh shit, that like what players are like, you know, like like Josh Gordon getting back in the league? Do you think his like staff did, you know, his people did right by him in terms of getting him back? Or, like what are the examples of guys that you're like, oh shit, you know, I'd like to be able to, you know, have a career defining moment in bringing a player back. Yeah. You know.
I mean, you know, I think all those guys' situations are different. You know what I mean? But I think that any player that you see that comes back from a suspension, you know what I mean, or a major injury, you know what I mean? I think any of those are like comeback stories, you know what I mean, that are like crazy, you know what I mean? And like those are really why we do it, you know what I mean? Like just seeing guys get to like better situations. I mean, I think when guys, you know, when guys can't make that, you know, that leap to, you know, coming from like a bad situation and making it better, I think that a lot of times it's just, you know, sometimes you may need a better team, you know what I mean? Sometimes you may need better people around you. Sometimes you may not need as much responsibility, or you may be carrying too big a load for yourself, you know what I mean? You're responsible for this person's rent and this person's phone bill and this person, and then when things start getting shaky, you start thinking like, damn, not only are you responsible for you, but you're responsible for 5, 10, 15, 20 people. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot of reasons why guys either come back or don't come back. But I don't think any guy doesn't want to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like those guys would play as long as they could, even knowing the physical toll it puts in. It's like they're gladiators. They want to play. They want to play because it's hard, not because it's easy. Because if it's easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You know? I mean, guys love it. I mean, guys love playing football.
So where ultimately do you see yourself, you know, do you want to stay in the sports realm forever? Do you have other aspirations?
Yeah, because it seems like you like crisis management. There's a fucking giant political law firms that do nothing but crisis management. You know, you link up with them, you have some real fucking crazies to deal with.
Athletes are a lot chiller.
They're easy.
Athletes are a lot chiller.
Definitely.
We have a good time. But no, I mean, I think that, you know, we're doing a lot of different things. I mean, we've got a lot of like irons in the fire to say, you know what I mean? Like, so the sports agency is part of like a bigger talent agency, you know what I mean? Where we're going to start representing like actors and you know what I mean, comedians, you know, all types of different rappers, you know what I'm saying? We represent a rapper by the name of N.O. Who has an album out, Moet.
There you go.
It's on all major platforms.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, I think that the sports agency and the talent agency, I think are going to be able to take both of those to like higher levels, because we can cross brand and cross market between, you know what I mean, the talent and then the sports side. And then I think I'm going to do this as long as As long as I love it.
As long as you love it, right?
doing it. You know what I mean? I love doing it. Every day's great.
It's weird how people just don't just do what you love, and
Just do what
ultimately,
you love.
and you're gonna get to the
Yeah,
answer.
you won't get tired of it. You don't feel like you're working.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm sure your hours are fuck. I'm sure it's 24/7 with these guys.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So do you have a good crisis story for us? You got no names, obviously, but do you have like, oh shit, I can't believe I had to solve this fucking problem. Or, well, I can't believe this night that this guy put me through this.
Do I have any crisis problems?
Some great,
I bet it's probably not.
some cleanup. What's your best cleanup job? Let's hear it.
I bet because like maybe
Obviously, nothing to get you indicted.
he's probably not thinking.
We don't want you to lose your license.
He probably doesn't think
I don't
that
have
Christ.
any cleanup stories.
That's how good it is.
That's not good.
I got good guys.
Just buried the story.
Hey, we got no stories. You didn't read about them.
I think that's your next company's name. No Stories
No
Entertainment.
stories. No stories entertainment. Nah, but we do a good job.
No, being a lawyer and all, I would assume it definitely helps you.
Oh, yeah.
And, representing players and stuff like
Did
that.
you pass the bar and everything?
Yeah, I passed the bar.
Is it as tough as they say it is?
Yeah, it was tough.
Seems like a
It was
motherfucker.
tough. It was tough.
It's like over how many days, right? It's like a
So California's 3 days. So it's 3 days.
It's a 3-day test. So.
It's
Ugh.
6 essays.
Wow.
It's 6 essays, and there's 2 longer essays. Then there's, I believe, like when I take like 160 multiple choice questions on like one day, but it spans like all of the major like bar topics in like law school. So like we're preparing for like 20 plus like different like areas of law, and then on the first day you have like 5 essays, and like the 5 topics that I was like the shakiest on, I open up the book and it's all those essays. It's all. And I was like, I'm trying to leave. Like, I was about to get up and leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I couldn't. And then I put on some Nipsey Hussle and Rick Ross. Okay. Proud of that.
There you go.
I went on and passed the bar.
That's how you got through. How was Loyola, man? Was that a good time down there?
Loyola was great.
New Orleans, that must have been fucking out of control.
No, I was actually, there's Loyola in New Orleans, and we get mixed up for that. But
the one in Maryland?
They're the one we're right in downtown LA. Loyola, it's like Loyola
right here.
Marymount.
Like,
Yeah. So it's
well,
like
that must be
that.
even fucking crazy.
What I was gonna say is that
fucking New Orleans.
what I was gonna say too is also like being Eritrean. You know what I mean? It's like there's not many Eritrean representation in the areas that
There's not.
that you are or that I am.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's always pretty cool when you see someone like of your
Your people are making
people
it.
doing like
That's dope, right?
Yeah, you just be like, what? We weren't brought up to be like this. Our parents were brought up to be like doctors, lawyers, etc.
Yeah. We're just wrapping up, man. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to plug.
No. I it's been a great time talking to you guys, man. And I
Just we're hanging after this, obviously.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I'll try to say that. Yeah,
right, guys, that was-
at that.
that was Tam Berhe.
Tam Berhe. Got Twitter, social media. You want to plug, please?
Yeah.
Please.
Follow me, Tam Berhe at Twitter. Follow my SoundCloud for my podcast.
He's a rapper too.
The highly educated podcast.
There you go.
And then what else? I got an IG.
He's got them all.
Plugging myself, but no. All
right, thanks for doing this,
appreciate
brother.
you guys, man.
Yeah, man.
Tam Berhe.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. That's Chase Avon. I'm Randy V. We're out. Peace.
Peace.
All right, guys.
Thanks, brother.
podcast, you bitch.